Let's ask also ourselves what this disease in question means. I'm not purposely saying the name of the disease. Let's say that it doesn't matter if this disease is real or it is simulated and infiltrated into human consciousness through media. Let's say it doesn't matter. No, doesn't matter is it real or not. It exists somehow and we all feel it. It interferes with our lives. So every disease that spreads among people has something to do with the collective. There are individual diseases, there are collective diseases. Infectious diseases are collective diseases. So how do we cure disease? Doesn't matter if it's individual or collective. Well, we cure the disease by eliminating the cause. We find what is the cause of disease and then we eliminate it. It is completely wrong to suppress the symptoms. It is much better solution to eliminate the cause if possible. Let me remind you that disease heals. We get the disease in order to be healed. To have a disease is something like a God mercy. You get the disease because you need to learn something. Because after the disease, you are different. Carl Gustav Jung noticed this. He wrote about that. And this is normal in the East and in Buddhism, they know about that. So if so, then the collective disease should cure the collective. Should heal the collective, right? So what bothers us so much as a collective when we have now at the moment the whole world as a hospital, not to say something worse. Many diseases of this type that were like infectious diseases that collected attracted somehow were treated incorrectly. For example, cholera in English, cholera, was treated badly. They were drinking poisoned water and taking some medicine. They didn't know what is the reason of the disease. They didn't know the cause. And we also don't know the cause. Many people don't know what is the cause. So when disease is spread, as well as any other trends, such as fashion, artistic or political movements, or things like that, Neptune is always present, because Neptune is the planet that symbolizes collective feelings. So if Neptune is strong, as it is strong now, it is in Pisces, that people are doing the same thing. So with Neptune, something influences us, and it seems that we cannot ignore it. We have to do the same thing as others do it. This is some sort of trance, which Neptune always brings. And it's interesting, Neptune is the planet that symbolizes the spread of diseases and everything else. It also spreads lies, misunderstanding, misinformation, deception, but also this energy heals. Because Neptune and Pisces, they're the planet and the sign of healers, natural healers. So if we have satellites everywhere and this internet new, that interferes with the vibration of living organisms on Earth, then this can be connected with the disease. This can spread it everywhere. We talk about that in some videos in last year, that first they were showing to us in the official media that bees are dying, that birds were dying, then fish were dying. Then they are showing at the beginning of the 2020 Chinese people falling like this down, you know, like many people just falling down. And we can assume that under the influence of those vibrations, which definitely causes this, some microorganisms also go wild. And now we have the whole world as a hospital. When the satellites and those internet frequencies will be removed, or when the vibration is eventually changed, so that it is in line with the vibration of living organisms on this planet, I assume that the disease will disappear. If we talk about it in that way, that it exists, and exists in some form. So that would be the solution. when we will do it and who will do it, that's another question, you know. The trouble is that there are people who don't want to do that, you know, they're doing the opposite. I spoke about that in my video Technocracy. Please have a look at that video. I spoke about that. What is the program? We need to do the opposite from that, what I said in the video Technocracy. So we wonder if anything else can be done except removing those things that we cannot remove. Somebody very big and powerful can do it. So can we do something? Yes, of course, we can do something. When I work with my clients on their personal development, and we use Thetahealing and similar methods, or astropsychology, we always start from the question. When there is a problem, we start from the question. Why did I attract this to myself? Or we ask, what does this tells me about me? So this is this introspective work. You know, it's very, very known on the East. There are countries who are dealing, people who meditate, they work with this method a lot. So everything we do through ourselves, by that we consciously explain what is happening to us. So now we said that disease heals something. We also can say that the conscious heals. We have to know what is happening and why do we have this? Because maybe we attracted something that is part of the subconscious, individual or collective, and now we need to integrate it, and that's how we will heal it. Collective planets such as Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are very difficult to understand because the condition for their integration is a conscious being. Only a being, whether collective or individual, that has reached a required level of self-awareness can move on to integration of the trans-Saturnian planets and remain normal. Many people try to do it, but they are not ready and they get crazy or lost. So imagine now moving from the bottom and you are learning about yourself and you are going higher and higher and you understand more and more that you are a whole, you know, and it's better and better and you understand things that you could never imagine and everything goes well. And suddenly there is some obstacle. You cannot go further. There is some condition. There you have to do something to go further. Well, that means that you have to reach the planet, the place where is Saturn, because Saturn represents the gate. And Saturn is ambivalent, let me tell you. It defends the realization of something and also protects from the danger of the unconscious. Okay, now to make this drama even bigger. So what is happening now? You are standing there on the gate and the Sphinx appears, of course, to ask you the question. It's like in mythology. And she asks only one question and you have to answer it. It means, if you can answer, it means that you are mature enough, you are wise enough, and you can continue. At that moment, the gate opens and you go higher. The answer is found through introspection. You cannot find the answer by looking around. No, you have to learn that by yourself. You have to know it by yourself. If you do not know the answer, you remain there to sit together with Saturn at the gate. And Saturn is very cynical, so you don't feel very well there. You know, actually, all the time something pushes you to go higher and answer the question. Well, you see, something like that is happening to us as a collective. We came across an obstacle and we cannot go higher. As a collective, we have reached a certain level of spiritual development, let's say. And even we can say, which is even better, we can say that we reach one point where we created imbalance between technological and spiritual development of humanity. We are technologically high, but spiritually not. We are spiritually somewhere down. We talked about that in some videos in last year, and we said that people without conscience, not just that they are immoral, they are people without conscience, they took modern technology, and that leads into illness and death because such high technology have to be connected with high spiritual development. Otherwise, this disbalance is disastrous. So how do we handle this? Well, also I will tell you something that I do with my clients, and of course people who do spiritual energetic healing know about this. So what to do? Whatever we have to deal with, the first thing is the acceptance. So we don't fight against this, what is happening. We first accept it. So, okay, it is there. I'm fine with this. I accept it. Then the second thing comes forgiveness. We have to forgive to ourselves and others for everything. We just forgive everything. And then we feel very, very light. And the third thing is we thank for this experience. And if you do meditations on any method of self-healing, maybe you know about this, but if you don't, use this. Because we said already in the past in some videos, the situation in the world and the collective will change when each individual changes. We have to do the job for ourselves first, each of us individually. So we will see how we as a collective, we will answer the question of Sphinx. This will be very important. But we need to do that to overcome great evil, which is very visible since the year 2020. Humanity is at a great turning point, and it is impossible to go all the way. The old is dead. So, yes, we said enough, I think. I have more things here to say, but I think it is clear what did I mean and how we can remove the problem. You know, we can remove the problem physically, moving satellites. We can set the vibration that is in connection with us and all bioorganisms, or we can work ourselves, and the best would be all of those things at the same time.